Hey there, and welcome to C&T Collectibles. This is 3 Up and 3 Down, the series where we look at the top 3 risers and fallers over the past 7 days on Card Ladder. But then we'll hop over to Starstock and look at who's gotten off the Major League Baseball second half on the right foot and see what, if anything, we should be doing with their cards. And so we'll start with our number 3 faller for the week, and that is Mr. Corey Seager, the 2016 Topps Scrub in a BGS 9.5, down 52%. For the week. So he hasn't played since the middle of May. Now he's on a rehab assignment and looking to come back. And so prices are getting kind of perhaps interesting if you compare him to other players of his ilk like Carlos Correa. He's relatively cheap, and he's on kind of a similar path, both debuting, about the same age anyways. They debuted a little bit differently, but similar age. Corey Seager's got 20 wins above replacement for his career to this point. Carlos Correa's got like 23, and so we'll take a closer look at him in the Starstock stuff. But I've never owned a Corey Seager card. I've been a fan for a long time, and I am looking at him very closely at this point. All right, and number 3 riser for the week is Julio Rodriguez, and we actually looked at him in our chart review on last Friday, so I've got this uncanny ability to give you all this great information after it happens here. So 93% for the week, bottom of the range with a big pop. There's nothing you do with this one after that kind of a move. You've seen these big spikes before, and they do tend to reverse themselves to some extent. So this is a player that will get a lot of run over the next year. So as people talk about him as being the number 1 prospect, I don't know if he comes up this year or if it's a next year thing, but that hype will continue to build to Wander Franco levels almost. And you could see his prices go up, and then when he gets the call, then you sell it, of course. So, all right, our number 2 faller for the week is his teammate Jarred Kelenic, who is probably coming back up, but he had a call up and then his debut that didn't go probably as well as most people were expecting. But whose fault is that? Not often that these guys come up and just light up the scoreboard. So down 52% for the week, and if you're looking for a Jarred Kelenic, then I think you're coming into an area where it's at least interesting. So that is the Chrome in a PSA 9. Get that for about $40. All right, 2 riser, Pete Alonso. So he won the home run derby, and those stats, I think it looks, well, from the side of this, it looks like it counts towards his regular season stats. So he's up nearly 100% for the week. This is the PSA 9. I've been a fan of his for at least this year, at least. Even last year, I felt that I didn't feel the need to defend him, but I did, saying, this is a BABIP related thing because all of his internals were actually not wildly different from what he did in 2019, and so I thought there was a little too much hate around him, and now I think there's probably a little too much love about him. But this is a pretty clean breakup. He's getting toward the top of his range where he's been at in the past, and so currently sitting at a little over $30, so that would imply around a $90 PSA 10, so a little bit rich probably, but yeah, anytime a card goes up 100% of the week, you can just eyeball that and say, oh, that's maybe a little much, but we'll also take a little closer look at him in the Starstock half of things here. All right, our number 1 faller for the week, the big unit, got chilly out, shrunk his price a little bit here, so over $100, down to $40 here, so I don't know the reason for that at all. So people rotating out of the relative safety of vintage. It hasn't been that safe at all, and I think they're coming back into the modern card market. Just see a lot of those names kind of at a logical level and flattening out. The Juan Sotos of the world, and perhaps people are freeing up funds, or this person here just sold right there. It could be as simple as that. I don't know, but let's look at another player that's kind of similar to him, and this is Gary Sheffield in the 89 Upper Deck PSA 10, just doing a lot of nothing. But if you look at his stats, for his career, over 140 weighted runs created, 60-something WAR, 500 home runs. He's he'll be eligible for the. I think he may be eligible for the Hall of Fame now. What, he retired 2009 or something like that. Anyways, look at his numbers. That's a Hall of Famer as long as there's no scandal involved with it, which you never know, but seems to be cleanish. And he could get some run going into the Hall votes here as his name starts to pick up some steam. So, all right, our number 1 riser here, Ronald Acuna Jr., up nearly 100%, so breaking this downtrend. And this one's kind of interesting because this sale right here was on the 15th. That's Thursday. That's after his injury. So there are people buying Acuna cards here. So especially some of the weird refractors and stuff like that, because there's some of his regular paper, chromes, or excuse me, his paper Bomas that have gotten hit, but there's some of his higher end specialty cards that seem to be holding up well, so that people aren't just wholesale ditching Acuna at this time. So something to kind of look out for. I don't think the ACL injury is as big a deal as maybe it used to be. So, all right, let's hop over to Starstock and Fangraphs. All right, move myself out of the way. So Lucas Giolito got off on the right foot. He had a 9 innings. He had a win, 9 innings pitched, struck out 8 and gave up 1 earned run. So, this is a player I liked coming into the season. I think I had him as like my number 5 pitcher overall, and that hasn't quite worked out, but he hasn't been bad by any stretch here. I mean, there's a few players. I don't think anybody had Kevin Gausman at number 1, so I don't feel too terrible here. Walk rate is down, striker out rate it's down a little bit. I like to see that. No, I don't want to see that climb up a little bit because I'm a Twins fan. So you just keep doing what you're doing and maybe regress and get even worse, Lucas Giolito. That's what I'm looking for here. So pitching at a better level than he's actually pitched. But we're looking for a little bit longer term bent on this one here. So he is a 27-year-old with 10 wins to his name. So pitchers typically they start peaking a little bit later. You don't have to come up at 23 or 24, 22, 23, 24 and start dominating like a hitter. You can start peaking 27, 28, and that's and go for a little bit longer. You can hang on to your skills a little bit longer. But yeah, you don't have to peak as early as the hitter. So pitchers can get started a little bit later here. So he's monster year in 2019. Last year was a pretty darn good year. This year he'll be about the same pace as that. So he'll be another 5-win pitcher. And if he's able to raise it over the next few years, I mean, this is the kind of player that is interesting enough to speculate on. He's on that low end of a track. It's really going to come down to health and things of that nature. But better stretch this out a little bit more. I'll get used to this framing at some point one of these weeks here. So we'll look at his Topps Update Series, his base card, the 2016, and you can see it's as low as it's ever been. And so for now, he's firmly in the speculation basket here. So he's not on a clear long-term path. It'll take a few years for that to develop. If he all of a sudden starts getting top 3 Cy Young awards, or maybe wins one, and is at a really 6-7 win player for a couple of years over the next few, then you can start taking it seriously. But it's at least at an interesting area to speculate for the time being. All right, another player kind of in the similar ilk here is Lance McCullers. He had 7 innings pitched, he had a win, he had 10 strikeouts and 1 earned run. Similarly, 27 years old. He's got a few more wins to his name than Lucas Giolito. He's got a few health issues here, and he's never he started earlier. And he hasn't quite put up that 5 or 6 win season that you'd like to see at this point. So he's having good seasons, but he hasn't put up those elite level seasons as of yet. And he's at the point where he needs to start doing that very quickly. So on a relative basis, his cards should be somewhat cheaper, and they are. So this is again, the update. There's not a lot of action on these right now, so 50 cents. So again, if you're looking to speculate, there's probably better names to do it at, but his price at this level for what he's doing is it's maybe fairish, but it's not the most exciting name in the world. But he is off to a pretty decent start here, and when he throws, I mean, he pitches pretty well. So, all right, Max Fried, another 27 years old with 6 wins to his name. So he's a little bit behind these other guys, but he got started quite a bit later as well, a couple years later than Giolito at least. Again, 3-1 season, on track for a 3-1 season, 3.5-win season, and right now he's looking at maybe another 3-win season type season. So he's got the lower strikeout rate, walk rate is fine. So again, another solid pitcher, but someone that's probably not. Oh, but he did throw a 7-inning shutout with 6 strikeouts, so that's the most important. That's why he makes the list here. Why are you talking about him? No, that's why I'm talking about him, because he had a nice game. So you can see that there's a little bit of lift off here. For $2, is this the Chrome? Yes, the Chrome. So there's gonna be a little bit of premium on that over the base, obviously. But again, it's an area where it's like, okay, yeah, you could probably do something with this. Not gonna hurt you a ton. I mean, it could get cut in half, I guess. But unless you're buying 1,000 of them, you'll be all right. But I'm not sure where it really rockets up until these guys kind of prove themselves, prove what they're doing here. So again, they're pitchers. Who buys pitchers? So let's get into a couple of hitters here. We'll start it off with Will Myers, who was Friday and Saturday. So I'm recording this on Sunday before a lot of the games are finished here. But so far in the second half here, he is 4 for 10, 2 home runs, and a 7 RBI. And most of this came Friday night, where he was 3 for 6 with a pair of home runs and 7 RBI. So a lot of that came in one game here. But hey, that's a heck of a game, and you deserve recognition on CNT Collectibles, that's for sure. That's what you get for all your hard work right there. So 30 years old, 12 wins to his name. He's really not on any sort of track here. You can see his wins above average. He does have good seasons on occasion. Last year, this year's is okay, and the 2016 season. So firmly in the you collect them and be happy or speculation basket. So we'll look at his 2013 update. He's getting a little bit of lift. That recent sale did come on May, so super recent. Not a lot of activity here. And if you wanted to do anything with Will Myers, maybe just start placing bids at like 50 cents or something like that. So, all right, moving on to Mr. Mitch Haniger. Also 4 for 10, 2 home runs, 6 RBI, but he spread that over 2 games on Friday and Saturday here. So having a really terrific season. Really, with him, it's just kind of been health. Unfortunately, he's capable of some pretty incredible seasons here, but he hasn't put in a full one since 2018, even in the shortened season. And this year, he's played about a half a season. Probably maybe play half a season again. But during that time, he's a pretty darn productive player. So unfortunately, 30 years old with 10 WAR to his name, not on any sort of track. But again, it doesn't mean you can't do anything. It's just about the price that you pay. You wouldn't want to pay, Carlos Correa, Corey Seager prices, guys that are kind of on the fence for a guy that not really on the fence. So it's all about price relative here. So we'll look at his 2017 Topps Chrome base card here. And, it's at an interesting, there's nothing interesting about this level here. It's in the middle of everything here. You got upside to like $3 and there's decent buying down at like $1 or $1.50. So, there's nothing to do here is the bottom line. So you could have some upside to like 3 and there's some downside to that $1.50 area. And, I don't know. You can't find anything better to invest in and trade around than Mitch Haniger. So, I like him. I'm pulling for him. I'm not doing anything with his cards because there's not a lot of clarity on that one. Unlike this player right here, Pete Alonso. Hasn't done much in the past 2 games, but again, monster home run derby. He is your home run derby champ. You get $1 million for that. It's like that. I think that's a recent thing, but it's like that's no joke. These guys are probably trying to some extent here. So he's the best at trying. That's awesome. So 26 years old with 6 WAR to his name. Again, there's a shortened season in there. And everybody had a shortened season. Ted Williams missed like 3 seasons of ball, and then they never said, well, you would have done this, because you were flying planes in World War II, World War II. But they, so I don't know how much people are getting credit for 2020, but he did come at a young age and led the league in home runs with a decent wins above replacement last year. Again, mostly BABIP related because he was hitting the ball just fine, and this year kind of the same thing. He's hitting the ball just fine. One of the things that kind of sticks out a little bit, exit velocities and all that are fine here, but the hard hit rate is it's better than last year, not quite where it was in 2019, so he's off that pace just a little bit here. But the home run to fly ball rate, balls that he's putting into the air, and he's putting it at a clip that even more than he did a few years ago. They're just not leaving the park. So we'll see if he can belt a few more out of the park. He's certainly launching the ball just fine. Line drive. So his let's see, where's his launch angle? It's on the other page. Whatever. Okay, let's just go to that one. So exit velocity, max exit velocity, hard hit rate, all at elite levels. This one's not quite elite. So if you look at his, I don't remember where it is on this one here. It was in one of these things. Launch angle. There you go. You can see he's kind of at the similar angle. So he's hitting the ball like he has in the past, just not leaving the park for the most part, but his exit velocities and all that are just fine. So we'll see. He's barreling up the ball better than he has in the past, around 16% of the time here. So nothing wrong with Pete Alonso. He'll go on a run here. That's my call here. So let's look at his base card, and they did spike. As we looked at over on eBay, they were upwards of what? $80 or something like that. The PSA 9 was $30 or $40. But if you come over to Starstock, so if you want a Pete Alonso PSA 10, you can get a Starstock for like $25. If you just want to trade the card, you buy at 20 or so and you sell at 30. Here's your range. Here's your bottoms. Here's where a lot of activity is. You guys like round numbers over there. So if you want to trade it, buy at 20, sell at 30. You're looking for PSA 10. A heck of a lot better deal here than there is over on the Bay. We'll wrap it up with Corey Seager. All right, Corey Seager, 27 years old, hasn't played in a couple months. He has 20 WAR to his name. So again, on an outside track here, he's probably got to put up 5-win seasons for the next few to really kind of get back on track, but he is certainly capable of that when healthy. He's not healthy right now, but let's just hope that he will be. So hope is not a very good strategy at all. But he's just on the outside here. Nothing says that he can't make a comeback. And so over on Starstock, we will look at his cards here, and you can see that they, since it really, I don't know, when is this one here? So May 10th. Yeah, it's right around the injury, and then there's just no activity, no relevance. You can see the Bs are starting to tick up here. EA's finding a little bit of support here at $30, but if you really want to get crazy here, start putting in bids around that $20 area and see if he struggles out of the gate when he comes back or gets a setback or something like that. So hopefully not, but again, there's a few of his cards I am interested in. You should have a few shares of Corey Seager at least, because just in case he still is a young player, and he's capable of doing some pretty cool things. So anyways, that's what I got for you. I hope everybody has a terrific start to the week, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.